just incredible. Two. DJ Sour Milk.
One. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
That's right, LA Leakers. We here, baby. Just incredible.
Sour Milk.
Power 106
Yeah.
Liftoff show every night from 7 to midnight.
Yes, sir.
And we're here to recap, kind of rewind, I should say.
Yeah.
At the past 10 years. It's crazy to think, man, we're approaching 2020 and a 10-year block of hip hop has came and went, man.
We were just like getting started, really,
In
like
2010.
with the LA Leaker stuff in 2010.
That's what I was thinking, because I was looking at some of the artists that were starting to break, right?
Yeah.
Like artists like Big Sean, YG,
Yep.
of course the Drakes and the Kendricks, but to see where they're at now is crazy to fast forward 10 years. And yeah, like Milk said, we were just getting our feet wet, man, and doing mixtapes and, illegally putting out songs on our
Leaking
SoundCloud.
records that we shouldn't have.
Yeah, man, just kind of like coming up, man. Social media was even just kind of kickstarting at that time in 2010. So what we're going to do, for the next, few minutes here is just recap some of our favorite freestyles.
Okay.
Albums.
Yeah.
Most meaningful songs, because there's some that probably maybe weren't like chart toppers, but,
it meant something to us.
meant something to you. So where should we start here, Milk? Because when it comes to this music thing, I feel like we've put 7 days a week,
Yeah, man.
24 hours a day into it over
Yeah.
this last decade. So it's a privilege and an honor to stand here and do this with the Power 106 listeners.
Always, man.
I guess let's start with albums, man.
Okay,
Albums
let's
is
do
a
that.
fun conversation.
Yeah.
And if we sat here and really tried to think of every album,
Impossible.
it's impossible. So
Impossible.
we're just gonna go with, top 3 to 5 that come to mind.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I didn't want to put too much thought into it either, just because it's like, what are the first few albums that come to mind?
Yes,
you know what
let's
I'm
do
saying?
that.
The first that come to mind
Of
to
the
me.
decade. So these
Yeah.
albums dropped between 2010 and today, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go one for one.
Okay.
Let's go one for one.
Okay. So am I going first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. I want to throw. This is like a personal favorite of mine. I listened to this album. I can't even tell you how many times I listened to this album.
Talk to me.
But London Drugs, they're a group out of LA.
Yes.
They had an album called Active
Right.
that is just like insane to me, man. Production, you know what I'm saying? The
Chemistry between them.
Exactly,
Fire.
bro. The features on it were crazy, even
Yeah.
to me. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a fan of West Coast rap, if you're a fan of like 80s funk,
Right.
that sound,
Right. Yeah.
London Drugs, Active. Man, I listened to that album too
Nonstop.
much.
That's
you know what
dope.
I'm saying?
That's
so
dope.
that's one of my personal top 5
Okay.
albums. What about you, man?
Let me see. So there's so many here. I'll start with Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City.
Wow.
I mean, you talk about, Kendrick Lamar. There was so much pressure on him, right?
Uh-huh.
This is like this is his rookie year,
Yep,
right? Like he had put out projects and other mixtapes, and the city was really talking, and hip hop was waiting on this release from Kendrick Lamar.
Big time.
He puts out the album. I remember seeing the album cover. It's the car on the
Yeah,
lawn,
yeah.
with the really dope writing
Yep.
on it. And then I just start to listen to the stories, and it's like Kendrick's from Compton, and being a fan of hip hop, we have got accustomed to hearing a certain story from artists from Compton,
Yep.
right? The pictures that Kendrick's was displaying in this debut album, or I want to say album number 2 before the
Yeah.
the
People are gonna be in the
critics-
comments like, how many, what he put out before
Right,
this?
Okay. It had to be on my list of one of the most important albums of the decade because
Yeah.
of songs like Backseat Freestyle, because of songs like Good Kid, Mad City, Swimming Pools is on there, the collaboration with Drake. It was everything I expected it to be and that much more from that project.
And not only that, but where he was at, obviously before the album, not many people outside of LA, I would say, were really hip to who he was. So from the release of that album to where he's at now,
Right?
is crazy, bro.
Crazy.
It's
All right,
crazy.
let's go another one of your favorite albums from the past decade.
Yeah, so that was actually on my list as well. I mean, it's kind of hard to not put that specific album.
Right.
You know, and honestly, I know a lot of people go back and forth between that and To Pimp a Butterfly.
Right.
For you know, which one they're gonna put.
Well, it's like the Nas
you
Illmatic
could, yeah,
versus
exactly.
was written.
You could put both of them on the
You
list.
really
if
could.
You want.
When it comes to this decade hip hop albums, you could do that.
Yeah, man. So obviously that album was incredible. And you know, like I spoke about earlier, seeing where he was at before the album dropped, you know what I'm saying? We had him up here countless times
Man,
around
so
that
dope.
time, man.
Yeah.
So you know, seeing his growth, I think maybe I'm biased, bro. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We were, you know what I'm saying? We saw the whole thing,
The
man.
whole
So seeing that was special to me, man. But that was also, like I said, one on my list. Another one that was on my list is Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted
Oh,
Fantasy.
Whew.
I don't know if you we actually went together to so when they premiered his album, they premiered it with a movie.
Yes.
And I don't know how much influence that had on me, because seeing visuals for everything, you know,
Right.
the first time I heard the album was with a movie,
Right.
which was crazy.
That's sick. That was groundbreaking.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I don't remember anybody else
Doing
doing
that.
anything like that
No.
before that. It was here in Hollywood, and yeah, man, just like everything just sounded perfect to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The
yeah.
production, especially the intro, the way the intro came in. You know, Nicki Minaj with
I
her
loved
little
it.
accent
Loved
and
it.
and the sample. Just I don't know, bro. Everything was crazy. That might be the best hip hop album of the last decade. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely got to be in the conversation, right? Because it like you said, it was like groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Everything that Ye was doing.
Yep.
Him and the whole team, they had the suits on, right? They were like they were like clean with it.
Yeah.
Right. And that was that was a little different look for hip hop.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I remember, like, of course, how important that Monster record was, right? You had Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, and Jay-Z.
And Nicki was still like on her come up at that time,
Right.
bro. So for her to be able to go bar for bar with someone like Hove,
Important.
it was like, oh shit.
It was an important moment,
Like,
right?
she ain't playing.
And what else? Because Runaway was on that
Runaway
album.
was on there.
And
yep.
I remember him performing that all over, of course, on the tour. I think maybe it was like the Grammys or some award show.
I remember he did awards. It was either the Grammys or like MTV or something.
Yeah, he had like the mask on.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
Like,
He had the NPC up there. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. That is by far, to me, one of the most important, influential
Yep.
albums of this decade. You can't have a top list without mentioning that one.
Yeah, man.
That too was on my list.
Yeah.
for similar reasons.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of hard to argue that one.
Yeah. Let's see if I could throw a curveball in there.
Okay.
I'll go J. Cole, 2014 Forest Hills Drive. That album was special to me for so many reasons. Like you said about the Kanye album, I thought the production matched with his bar level, his rhyme level was like impeccable.
Yeah.
Like flawless. Like Cole was just in his bag on the album. He really became, you know, the no feature memes went out. The album
Yeah.
with no features.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take that for granted. I thought that was like genius to do for an artist like him. At a moment, was like, I'm going for the number one spot. You've got Kendricks of the world. You've got the Drakes of the world. Sean is with good music doing his thing next to Kanye, and Cole's got to find a space right there.
Yeah.
And I just thought, man, he delivered so big with songs like No Role Models. He had the song on there where he was talking about his spot getting raided, you know, which later on tour, which the tour was fabulous too. And I think mixing the tour with the album makes it even bigger for me. So there, you know, I can go on and on about that album, but I think that goes right there on one of my top albums of the decade.
Crazy.
So without a doubt, you know, I put J. Cole, 2014 Forest Hills Drive in one of my top albums of the decade.
Yeah, man, not mad at that. Another one that fell on that list for me, man, and you know, it's just we both had such a good relationship with this dude, and seeing his impact, Nip, man, Victory Lap.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy because I don't know if the more I listen to the album, it's like it gets better,
It
man.
just gets better and better. You start to hear the words more.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say, you know, God rest his soul, rest in peace to the legend Nipsey Hussle, which we'll speak more on, you know, in this episode. But it wasn't just that. Like it ages very well.
Yeah,
you have
man.
to sit with the album. You have to sit with each song. The game that Nipsey's kicking on, it just relates to different things going on
Exactly.
in your life at different times. I'm with you, bro.
And not only that, but you know, again, like I said, us knowing him on a personal level, and then we've heard these stories that he raps about on the album for years, bro. So you know what I'm saying? To hear those stories in music form is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
no
so
doubt.
that was another one that I had on my list.
Did you have any on like kind of like R&B leaning side? Because there was a lot of
Yeah,
important
bro.
R&B releases.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Weeknd took off this
Bro,
decade, right?
yeah.
There was just a number of kind of a resurgence almost of R&B.
Yeah,
acts.
and even like you know what I'm saying? To me, the internet, you know, they're an LA based group. They had an album called Ego Death that was incredible to me. Childish Gambino, he really like made a statement as an artist, especially like when he dropped Redbone, that kind of just took over the world. I
Yeah.
feel like that album, Awaken My Love, is flawless to me.
Amazing,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? That there's I mean, we could go on forever, bro.
We could. I'll throw a couple more in, then we'll move it along here because there's some other topics we got to get to when we're talking about the decade.
10 years.
I want to throw in the album conversation. I want to throw Drake, Take Care in there.
Yeah.
And I got to throw Jay-Z 444 in there.
Bro, 4-4. See,
Another
that's
one.
another album. I remember having that on my list as well, and I'm like, what do I take off? What do I put on? 444, bro.
Yeah. It's hard. It's like that's another one where you get, you know, one producer, one artist.
Yeah, and this
together
is
on one.
and you know, this is hip hop. This is you know what I'm saying, like a genre where the older heads ain't supposed to put out music that hot.
Right. That made that album even greater because it's like they counted him out on that one.
Exactly,
right?
bro. He's showing his maturity. He's super open with everything.
The stories are
bro,
crazy.
it's crazy. That album is incredible.
What
man.
about Watch the Throne?
How do you even pick five,
You can't
bro?
pick. You can't pick five in a time where it became so popular, right? Like back in the, you know, maybe in 2000 to 2010, artists would put out an album once a year,
Yeah.
maybe once every other year.
Yeah.
Artists putting out 2 albums a year right now. You know,
Quick,
as a
too.
fan, that's great, but as a journalist
Yeah.
or a broadcaster, it's tough to narrow it down.
Not only 2 albums, but they're also putting out 2 mixtapes.
Yo,
You
for
know what
real.
I'm saying? It's
The
like,
Futures
bruh,
and the Thugs of the
slow
world.
down,
Right,
please,
right,
bro.
right. Should we talk about? Let's just talk about influential artists of the
Okay.
decade. Who
Okay.
who are some on your list?
I mean, come on, bro. I think the first one probably on everybody's list. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about popularity and just how much they ran everything, it's got to be Drake, bro. These last 10 years, you know, he's one of them. Another one, when you talk about just pure influence, Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye, right?
You know what I'm
From
saying?
both the music to the fashion side.
Exactly, bro. I mean, there's a few others on the list. Obviously, a lot of people who don't get the recognition, even like someone like Cudi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The melodic. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Singy.
Yeah, because when you hear artists like, you know, Uzi Vert, you know,
Yeah,
who really
bro.
broke out this decade.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of Cudi, you know, influence. Maybe
Yeah.
some Ye in there, maybe
Exactly.
some Travis in there.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, I'll throw a couple artists in there too,
Talk to me.
because I think this decade, Atlanta had a huge 10-year span.
Yep.
So I want to shout out Future.
Yeah.
I think Future has to get mentioned.
Definitely.
Future and Young Thug and 2 Chainz.
Yep.
Those 3 right
Chainz,
there.
yep.
I feel like huge 10 years, you know, and very important to the decade.
Not only that, but even Migos, man.
Yeah,
Someone like
Migos, too.
Migos, bro. Like when you speak in Atlanta, it's like, damn,
and
bro.
groups in general.
Yeah, man.
Because that's another thing that was like counted out in hip hop. Can a rap group do it? In this last decade, 5 to 6 years specifically, Migos went crazy.
Crazy.
Of course, you've got the J. Cole's, the Kendrick Lamar's.
Yeah.
It's been an important decade. Artists have done it themselves a lot, man.
Uh-huh.
Done it themselves independently, with their own blueprint this year,
And
this decade.
Yeah, and you know, I think especially for us being from LA, you know, obviously, you know, the YGs, the Ty Dolla Signs, the Mustards.
Gotta shout
You know
them
what I'm
out.
saying? Even someone who I know we both feel like was at the forefront of this new LA movement, someone like Dom Kennedy, you know what I'm
K,
saying?
yeah.
Who doesn't really get the recognition he deserves.
Absolutely.
I feel like, man. So shout out to all our guys out here in LA doing it, man.
Yeah, to continue what Milk said, definitely shout out to all the LA artists who are working hard, thinking about where the climate was at in hip hop in
Yeah.
2010 to
Yeah.
where it's at right now,
Yeah.
and seeing how many people from around the world are influenced by the LA look,
Yeah.
the LA style,
Yep.
the LA sound,
Yep.
the LA production. It's a beautiful thing, man. So shout out to all the LA artists putting it down.
And if we didn't mention your name, don't get offended, bro. This is just off the top of the head, man. Listen, we ain't gonna remember everybody, but we know there's a million of y'all, man.
Yo, if they knew how on the spot that we
yeah,
were,
yeah, exactly, bro. For
All
real.
right, let's flip it a little bit. Let's talk sneaker culture.
Oh,
Some of the
okay.
top sneaker moments of the past decade for you.
I mean, I think at the top of the list has to be, as far as just impact,
Yes.
it's got to be all of Kanye's stuff, man.
I know, right? So the Yeezys.
Yeah.
So this was the decade where Kanye gave the middle finger to Nike.
Yep, exactly.
It was like, I'm going to go over here to Adidas.
uh-huh.
And when we all heard that, we were like, okay, we had seen the Nike designs.
Yeah.
We're like, what's he gonna do with what we thought was the Adidas design?
Yeah.
He really flipped the
No. A whole
shit
new
up.
shoe, man. Yeah, bro. So I think, I mean, dog, I would probably say out of his whole collection, the 350s, you know, are
I'm
probably.
trying to remember. Was that the more high top one?
No, the 350s
Oh, the low.
were the lows.
Okay.
The ones that, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody has
Went
a pair.
crazy over, yeah.
You know what
no
I'm saying?
doubt.
Everybody. He just, I don't know how many damn pairs of them shoes he made, bro.
Hey,
but I
y'all
feel
better
like-
stop going against Ye, because when he wears them, everyone want to talk about
Yeah.
they trash. I'll
Yeah.
never wear them. If y'all really believe that, the lines wouldn't be so long
Exactly,
when Milk
bro.
and I try to
It'd
go
be
cop.
easier for us to get them. You know what I'm saying?
Also, the Virgil 10, the Nike situation, of course.
Man, bro.
You talk about when it comes to sneaker culture, you know, that's what I think about. I'm like, man, the shoe that's hard to get and the one that hopefully not everyone has.
Yeah.
I felt like that body of 10 shoes,
Mm-hmm.
couple extra colorways and
Yeah.
shit like that. I thought, man, as frustrating and annoying as it was, from the Jordan 1 to the Presto to the Blazer to the list goes on, he did something very special.
Oh, for sure, bro.
This
I
decade.
mean, and as it is to me, I think the Jordan 1 might be like my favorite shoe ever.
Of all time.
And for him to have the balls to take that and tweak it a little bit, and in my opinion, make it even better.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Was man, so
Special.
Yeah,
Special.
that specific Jordan 1, that Chicago Jordan 1 that he put out
Right.
is ridiculous.
How
man.
about what Travis did over the last decade?
Oh yeah, bro.
You know,
I mean, and see, that's the thing, dude. It's like he had the 6s.
Yes.
He had the 4s.
he also had the ones.
and yeah, he had the one. Oh yeah, the ones.
Because he
and
like reversed the swoosh
yeah,
on him.
exactly.
Like,
And I'm still pissed that he didn't release the purple 4s.
ooh.
The friends and families. It's like, come
Yo.
on, bruh.
Trav.
Come on, dog.
Yeah, those are fire. And then I see I think there's like yellow 6s rolling around
yeah.
too.
There's
I
the
hope,
yellow 6s.
hope
Yep.
those come out in 2020.
No, man.
All right, man. We're talking about some of the biggest moments of the decade, the last 10 years. And it's tough to narrow this down.
It
So
is.
in the comment section below, if we've missed anything, if you have a different opinion, please comment below.
Yeah, don't be afraid to call us out, man.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. We encourage that. up
If
here.
we're tripping, if you know what I'm saying, our take is off, tell
Right,
us, please.
How about freestyles, man? We've done a lot of freestyles in the last 10 years, man. I remember people telling us, nah, Milk, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. Artists aren't going to want to come up there and freestyle. And we said, yo, if we keep it to the essence, if we keep it to the culture, if we almost make it competitive,
Yeah.
it will become something. Yes, it's going to take us a minute to get
Yeah,
to
it took a
number
little bit.
10 or
Yeah.
number 20.
Yeah.
But here we are approaching 100 freestyles
Damn.
in this decade,
That's
right?
crazy,
Crazy
bro.
to think about.
I mean, and there's so many, man. Like, I mean, obviously, I feel like some of the early ones we got to mention, you know, people like Belly,
Yes.
who came up here, and I feel like he really sparked it and just lit a match under everybody's ass
Yeah,
and made
yeah.
everyone be like, I need to go up there and do that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
exactly. He
people
raised
like
that
Belly, people like Chains.
Yes.
Dog,
I love the chain. I love the Chains one because I remember he wanted to rap over a Kendrick beat,
Yeah.
right? Was it DNA? Yeah.
Yeah, it was DNA.
Of course, I loved how he incorporated the LA Leakers in our show
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But Chains is like top 10, man. Like
Yeah.
Chains is so important. So for us to get an artist like Chains to want to come up to our show
Mm-hmm.
and release a freestyle on our platform meant a lot. But what I wanted to say was that conversation that freestyle led to a conversation where there was a picture that went viral
Yeah.
of Kendrick
Yep.
and Chains talking. And I remember getting a text from someone on Chains' management side going, yo, they're talking about the freestyle
That's
right then and there.
crazy,
So to
bro.
think that, moments on our show start larger conversations
Yeah.
between people who we look up to, man,
Uh-huh.
that ranks on mine as one of my favorites as
Yeah,
well.
and I mean, and not only that, we also had some artists who aren't as well known
Yes.
come up here and just completely destroy it, man. And you know what I'm saying? Really just, I mean, obviously helped us as well, man, because when you come up here with those type of bars,
Right. That energy.
exactly, it elevates our whole shit. You know what I'm saying?
That makes
But,
me think of the Daylight one, man. The Daylight one
bro,
was one.
Daylight came up here, destroyed it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I mean, there's a ton of artists who came up here, you know what I'm saying, who ain't like obviously as known as like a 2 Chains or
Right.
or dog, we've had so many people up here is hard for me to even think.
It's tough to think about. I think about YG coming up here on album night, and we didn't think he was gonna do it.
Bro.
And next thing you know, he's got like a bottle in his hand. He takes
Yeah.
his shirt off,
Shirtless.
and he's like in rap mode.
Ready
and,
to go crazy.
That was crazy. I think both Tyga freestyles.
I was about to say, and that was coming off of, when everybody was saying, oh, he's cursed, he's this,
Right.
he's that. Then he drops Taste. Then he comes up here and bodies a
delivers.
freestyle. And you know what I'm saying? He did 2 of them. And it's just like, damn,
He
bro.
delivers.
Back.
The Baby. The Baby. That was one where, the Baby came up here. We had heard, the energy around the
Yeah.
projects.
Yep.
He already was on fire as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But when he says, yo, pull up the City Girls beat, I'm like, damn, that's a little fast. Like,
Yeah.
what's Baby going to do on that? And, yeah, that's one of my favorite ones of the year. Also on the female side, because it was the decade of the females,
Yep.
man. From shout out to Cardi B to
Yeah,
Meg Thee
man.
Stallion and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Meg came up here and went crazy on our freestyle series. That was
crazy over America's Most Wanted,
over
man.
the Tupac beat.
Yep.
Man, there was so many. And what we want y'all to do is drop your favorite freestyle, your favorite LA Leaker, your favorite Power 106 freestyle from the past decade, the past 10 years. Drop it in the comment section, and we'll talk about that some more. You got some more, Mel?
Yeah, I just want to run. I just like YouTube searched LA Leakers freestyle and just a few of them that like the first ones that pop up. Roddy Rich recently.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Badass, YBN Corday.
Oh, Corday, that was a special one.
Bro.
Because Corday, he picked a couple different beats.
Yeah.
And they were just completely opposite sides of the spectrum.
And I was like, one of the beats was a Lil Pump beat, and I was like, kind of worried,
like
you gonna rap over Lil Pump beat?
Yeah.
Like, are you sure, bro? And
it became his thing, though. Like
Demolished it.
He demolished it. I remember Joey Badass coming up here.
Yeah.
And going crazy on a couple ones. I want to shout out Freddie Gibbs too.
Gibbs,
Freddie Gibbs
man.
goes
Gangsta
down as
Gibbs.
one of my favorites of the decade
Yep.
and specifically of the last year. I had never seen anyone rap for over 3 minutes with their son on their lap. I think that was
and that calmly too.
right, that calmly.
Yeah.
And props to little Freddie too,
Yep.
because he held it down the whole time. He must see Pops rap like that all the
Yeah,
time.
for real, bro. He's used to it.
Yeah, he's used to it. But that was an amazing moment in 2019.
Uh-huh.
All right, one we got to talk about since we do our thing every night on Power 106,
Yep.
but we're also heavy in the clubs.
Yes.
Let's talk about club bangers, man, because
Bruh.
as DJs, there was those moments,
Yep.
1 or 2 records every year that will be playing in our sets
Yeah,
for the
man.
next decade.
Exactly, bro. And I mean, the first one that comes to mind is a more recent record.
Okay.
Cardi B, Bodak Yellow, man.
Ooh,
I don't know
yeah.
how long ago did that record come out? Like two,
I think that's
3
2
years ago?
2, 3 years.
Bro, you can still play that prime time, and every girl in the building
No
is gonna
doubt.
sing every word to that.
And that's what I love about it is that like that was an anthem for the girls
Yeah.
and the guys.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, like you said, to see the girls singing every word, that's when you know you've got them locked in.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go with French Montana. Pop that.
Whew.
I mean, damn man, because that was a time in music where EDM was starting to really catch the energy in the
Yep.
clubs.
Yep.
So Pop That had. Am I saying this right, Milk? It had sprinkles. It had essence. It had moments.
Yeah,
in it,
yeah, yeah.
The build-ups and
Yep.
stuff like that just felt. Not comparing it to EDM. I'm just saying from an energy standpoint.
Yeah.
It was just rowdy.
Nah, the energy's crazy.
And it's definitely going to be in my playlist moving into the new decade.
Mandatory, bro. Another one. I mean, Sicko Mode. You gotta. I feel like you gotta throw that in there. Just
Crazy.
and the switch ups in the song. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like 3 different songs in one.
And the sing-alongs in
Yeah,
there.
man.
Like a light.
Bro.
Like a light.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When that part drops, when that last part drops, it's just. I mean, come on, dog.
Crazy, right?
It's crazy.
Let's talk about dreams and nightmares.
Ugh. I feel like that's every professional sports team's anthem, bro.
Like national anthem. huh?
Yeah, dog. That's the new national anthem, bro, for
hip-hop.
sports.
That's-
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah, for hip hop and sports. For
Right.
real.
Man, that song represents everything hip hop represents to me,
Yeah.
man. Like just from the bottom, just trying to climb the ladder,
Yeah.
just the struggle, the pain, but also the celebration, right?
And I don't know if you remember this, but I actually remember the first time we heard that record. We pulled up to the studio. And they played it for us in the car, though. They didn't even
right.
play it for us on a studio speaker. They're like, "Oh yeah, come outside real quick. Let's play it for you in the
Yo,
car."
That's right. I remember it as you're saying. it
Yeah,
now.
bro.
Crazy to think how far and important
Exactly,
Meek Mill's
bro.
Dreams and Nightmares was. And shout to Meek, definitely another one of those artists who had an important, decade. Bro.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm sure I'm missing a lot because I feel like the records that I'm giving are more recent. These are just the freshest on my mind. But another one I got to throw out is Mo Bamba.
Ooh.
When you play that, bro, it turns into a mosh pit. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what the crowd looks like.
Shakes it up. Right?
Yeah, bro,
Yeah,
they
nah.
just go crazy, man.
That's one of those ones. I mean, there was so many. I mean, God's Plan had its
Yeah.
huge moment.
Yeah.
What Kiki, do you
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
feelings
yeah,
joint
yeah.
had a huge moment.
Yeah.
I think Paris was huge. Paris, Kanye, and Ho.
Paris.
Shout to Hit Boy.
Yeah,
Right?
shout out to that, and that's I think Hit's second one because Hit did Sicko
Sicko,
Mode as
so,
well. He
yeah,
he
man.
did part of Sicko Mode, man. So I mean, there, like I said, bro, it's
So
it's
many.
hard to narrow it down, especially a 10-year gap.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Window. Of
how do
10
you
years.
narrow that down? I don't know how you do that, man.
There's so many. But look, what's your favorite? Your favorite turn up song of the 2010s, right?
Yeah.
Of the last decade.
Yep.
Drop them in the comment section below.
Uh-huh.
We'll even, pick a handful of them and throw a playlist together and
Yeah.
drop it when we get back after the top of the year. This has been fun, man. It's been fun reliving the last 10 with you, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I could think about, leading into 2010 and the things we talked about that we were going to attempt to do. It's been a pleasure.
My man,
running,
You already know.
this-
and like you said earlier too, like you said it off the mic. You were like, "Damn, bro, like if people who like the people that we told were, you know what I'm
Man.
saying? Like those people who thought we were crazy.
Like, yeah. Well, if we could look some of the people in the face and told them in 2010 where we would be standing in 2020,
Yeah, man, they wouldn't
a
have
lot of
believed
them,
us.
They counted us out.
they'd have been like, "Yo, y'all are tripping, bro."
So that goes to show, man, as we hit this new decade, aim for the sky, man.
Yep.
Don't let nobody tell you can't do something. When they do, that's when you go 10 times harder,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You got to, bro. It makes everything so much
That much
sweeter.
better.
You know
That
what I'm
much
saying? When
better.
you could look them in the eye and smile and be like, "I told you."
That's right. That's
Come on,
right,
man.
That's right. It's been a beautiful decade. Cheers to the 2020, man.
Yep.
Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Thank you for listening to us every night
Yeah.
on Power 106 and
Hey.
watching all of our videos on power106.com.
Uh-huh.
Just incredible.
Sour milk.
Your LA Leakers liftoff show every night.
Yeah.
Wrapping up the decade. Peace and love, y'all.